having to process the way the last game ended against Portland and how.
No, my goodness, it's nasty matchups.
Steve's future's kind of topic of the night. He said it'll be decided in the next couple of weeks, or he'll think about it in the next couple of weeks. How vocal do you plan to be with Steve about his future and with the organization about keeping him around?
I mean, I'm going to take Steve's lead. Just we haven't had any of these conversations, so we all have to kind of assess where we're at, and I'm sure decisions either way will be made, but just the idea of just looking at how we try to make something out of this year is the focus for me, and we'll get to the rest of what the future looks like, but we had a lot of good moments in the locker room, just appreciating the fight and the battle that we had and the ability to try to extend our season. Didn't go the way we wanted to, and we'll get to the other stuff later.
No, but knowing that it is his choice, how much of a preference is it for you?
I want Coach to be happy. I want him to be excited about the job. I want him to believe, he's the right guy for the job. I want him to, have an opportunity to, again, enjoy what he does. So whatever that means for him, everybody's plan is their own, and I'm not going to try to tell anybody what to do. He knows how I feel about him. That shouldn't even need to be said, but however it goes, you're excited about, or not excited, you're thankful for what we've been able to accomplish over this run. I'm thankful for an opportunity, hopefully, to put it together, do something again next year. And again, I just want Coach to be able to look at the situation as a whole and feel like he's the right guy.
We asked Steve about that last moment with you, Draymond, and him on the sideline, and he said this could be the last time. Did that hit you then? Like the last time you three are together in a competitive moment?
I mean, I was kind of fighting it, to be honest. You always had run out, and I do appreciate the fact that he took that moment, because regardless, like, we're human beings and we have to be able to acknowledge each other in that moment, but I don't know if that's a signal of anything. It's just we wanted to appreciate what we've all poured into this journey.
Given what you guys have been able to accomplish, how are you going to remember the season, given all the ups and downs and everything that happened?
It was a roller coaster ride, to say the least. The way we came in with the locker room that we had our sights set on realistically trying to chase, home court advantage, knowing where we were last year after the trade deadline with Jimmy, and then, he goes down, Mo goes down, I missed 20 whatever games, and you see, like, just momentum slipping away, but there was still this underlying, like, belief that when it comes to the Warriors, you're always talking about championships. That's what we've established as a goal. But when we had to reshape that as like, okay, can we just make something out of this year to get a playoff experience and a playoff berth? And that felt like the right goal, and why I forced, my way to try to get back, and for us to, have that moment we did in LA, the highs of that and the lows of tonight. It's just what basketball is, what sports is about. You never know what's going to happen, but you give it everything you have. And for us to have had these last 3-4 days and the whole play-in situation, I'm proud of the way we finished it, because it could have been very sleepy, like not come back and we get blown out in the first game and everybody kind of just goes into the summer with no real direction. It was a fun ride these last 4 days.
How would you categorize kind of the state of the knee issue you're dealing with, and do you think do you need anything done this summer? Or
rest, mostly rest. I mean, there are some things I can do to prepare myself for next year, which I'll stay on top of. And they say a lot of golf helps my knee. I heard that was part of the research I did. It was pretty incredible. So hopefully we can do that, and then come back next year. And I think big picture, I don't think there's anything. You have to be mindful of what it showed, how it showed itself this year, knowing there was a clear, like, how I prepared pre-injury and post-injury. So the things I've been doing recently, I'll continue to do when it comes to rehab and maintenance and all that. But it is kind of touch and go, just knowing hopefully rest will get me right, go into training camp feeling good, and be able to manage it early in the year and kind of see where I'm at. That's kind of the idea. But I don't feel like there's going to be any real long-term symptoms or anything.
Still seeing multiple years and beyond left in the career.
Multiple, for sure. That's more than one. Yes, that's perfect.
Would you be interested in an extension?
For sure. But none of those conversations have happened, so it'll be a busy summer for the Warriors.
Steph, to follow up on what you were saying earlier, the goal obviously here has always been the title. And you guys were consistent from the start of the year that if everybody was healthy, you felt like you could take some swings and get there. As you see what happened this year, you know the uncertainty about the summer. Do you walk into next year feeling like if you get everybody back healthy with the group that you do have, that you can still at least push for that level?
Yeah, but I think we can approach it differently in the way that we build the year, because we started the year with that as an aspiration. I've only been in one locker room for the last 17 years, and before you win the title, there was only like those first 2 years, like you're building, the foundation for what a championship team looks like, even though you had no idea what that really meant. Then you accomplish it, and then everything else is based off of that, and it's been that way since 2015. So I think we can reshape the narrative, like knowing the back of our mind, like that is the ultimate goal, but we have to get back to the basics of what makes a good basketball team, a competitive basketball team every single night. Understand realize how hard it is to win in this league, but can we rethink, how we do things with the foundation that we've established? We don't have to keep, saying championship every day, even though, we've experienced that. Can we just build the foundation again with what this team needs to do, with the way that the game is played now, how fast it is, how young and athletic it is, all of those things we have to kind of put everything on the drawing board to get back to, just being competitive every single night.
Steph, as Steve said, the words you used were every coach has an expiration date. You certainly
Was he in here like going crazy? Like, y'all give me some lines. I've only had one conversation with him, so I didn't get the. I'm learning on the fly. So please, sorry.
A week or two.
Continue.
But my question is, he certainly seems as engaged as ever in his 12th season.
Yeah.
And how do you view is he still the right coach for where you guys are? And do you agree with it? Every coach has an expiration date, or can it go longer?
I think everything we've done is unprecedented, and there's only a few examples you can kind of look to in the history of basketball, especially in the modern era where when we started, again, the way the game is played has changed from 2013, 14 when we were kind of ascending to, or 14, 15 when Coach got here, where we were ascending to how it's played now, roster construction, like all those things. You have to adapt and evolve for sure. I think Coach is fully capable of doing that and thinking, outside the box as we go. But to his point, and your spirit has to be in it, your mind has to be in it, your coaching staff, like every dynamic has to be on that journey with you. So only he can answer that. It sounds like he's put a lot of thought into it, but we'll have those conversations where I get to kind of understand where his mindset is, because it's not like he was going to open up to me on that front over the last, or at any point during the season, because we still had a job to do.
Moving back to the Suns, basically KD was here last year. He's no longer here. A lot of people thought the Suns wouldn't be doing this well this year. What did you see on the court from them this season, in particular this play-in game that kind of just changed their mentality? It just looks like they got better this year without Kevin.
They got better, and they look different, and they figured out how to put the pieces together to, highlight what they could do, what their strengths are, what this particular group is. They're super talented, fast, athletic. Defensively, they like to, switch a lot, and you got Devin doing his thing as a playmaker and a scorer. I heard Draymond talking about what Dylan's brought in terms of just the mentality. But you have a lot of, we call them the others, but a lot of guys who show up on a nightly basis. What Jordan Goodwin did tonight was incredible. Iguodala stepping in and starting role when, you had, what's his name, Williams out. So, it's, they seem to do it by a committee, but they all play hard every night, and you're going to be in a track meet, and that's what it felt like tonight. So they did what they had to do. It'd be fun to watch them against OKC. I'm sure they're pretty confident they can go out and challenge the champs.
Sam, let's go. Sam. Stay here.
Season